Yeah, I actually think I'm the strongest man who ever lived.
The strongest man who ever lived?
Yes, I'll make that statement.
Magic Mountain, just north of Los Angeles in California, is the sort of place that deals in superlatives. It's a sort of Disneyland without Mickey Mouse, a giant fairground that claims to have the biggest, the highest, the longest, the fastest, and certainly the most furious ways of flying through the air with the greatest of unease. In this neck of the woods, it's an act of faith to believe that all things are possible. You can now join us at Magic Mountain as we meet the world's strongest men attempting to achieve their own impossible dreams. Let's now meet the contestants.
Hi, I'm Bill Dunn, and I'm from Charlottesville, Virginia. I weigh in at 360 pounds.
Hi, my name is John Gamble. I weigh 290 pounds. I'm from Richmond, Virginia.
I'm Kurt Marsh from the Oakland Raiders. I weigh 285 pounds. I'm 6'6".
Hi, my name's Jim Huff. I'm 6'2", 270 pounds. I grew up in La Mirada, California, and I now live in Jordan, Minnesota.
Hi, I'm Dave Waddington. I'm from Sandusky, Ohio, and I weighed in at 280 pounds.
Hi, I'm Ross Bronner. I play the Cincinnati Bengals. I weigh 250 pounds, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
That is pain. That is terrible pain.
Hi, my name's Jeff Capes. I weigh 320 pounds, and I live in Peterborough in England.
Hi, I'm Tom McGee. I'm from Canada, British Columbia, in the city of Vancouver. I'm weighing about 285. And what else would you like to know?
Hi, my name is Ernie Hackett. I'm from Waltham, Massachusetts, and I weigh 300 pounds.
Real strong. Yeah, there you go. Real strong.
I'm Bill Kazmaier from Auburn, Alabama. I weigh 335 pounds, and I am the defending world's strongest man.
Those 10 men pit their strength against the law of gravity and human limitation to become the world's strongest man. And the first of the 10 competitive events, the truck pull. A race against the clock to haul a 10-wheeled, 400-horsepower, 8-ton truck along a 100-foot track. In this heat, 2 powerlifters. Dave Waddington there in the blue lane and John Gamble in the yellow. Once the inertia of the truck is overcome, it's a brutally simple matter of keeping the pressure on, keeping the center of gravity low, and blocking out the persuasion that the track is stretching off into infinity. Waddington staggering just a little bit there. Once this truck stops, no human muscle power is going to get it moving again, and poor John Gamble there, feeling the agony, and a good time for Waddington. He's over in 53.25 seconds.
All right. I'll sleep well tonight, but I won't be drunk.
The awesome presence of Big Bill Dunn, the heaviest and oldest man in the competition, and his opponent, 6'6" American football star Kurt Marsh. So far, the blue lane has been the lucky one, and there can be no comfort to Marsh. But so far, nobody who started in that yellow lane has completed the course. Done, great determination from him, feeling I'm sure every one of his 40 years, putting those 360 pounds of body weight, massive strength to good effect. Staggering a bit, the blood drains away from the upper body, and every step takes both of them farther through the barricades of pain. Legs turn to legs. Probably Dunn can't see this, that Marsh is really staggering now, beaten, hardly falling. From now on, for Dunn, the target through his blurring vision is that oh so far away from him. And he finishes in the time just behind Waddington's, and another failure in the yellow lane.
All I can say is that's the hardest thing I've ever done. That thing's a damn man.
Jeff, you've got the bad luck of drawing the yellow lane. No one has finished in that lane yet.
That's true, but that's the luck of the draw, and it's one of the unfortunate things of seeing all the other competitors stopping, and unfortunately in the same place. So it makes you wonder whether there is a discrepancy in the surface.
My NBC colleague Bob Trumpy talking there to Jeff Capes about what could be more than just a jinx on that yellow lane. You see Jeff trying to exercise it with a charm, and probably too trying to blot out the thought that he's taking on the mighty Bill Kazmaier. But often this looks like a real race. Very little in it at the start. Both men keeping very low, trying to build up that speed. Kazmaier is just beginning to get away, building up that momentum, really piling on. Now Capes is getting past that sticking point. Remember, nobody's finished in this yellow lane, but he looks as if he's going to overcome whatever it is that's wrong with his lane. He's battling against what now seems certain to be strange disadvantage. Kazmaier, though, looks as if he's got it all the way. He really is charging down that line, heading on all fours, and it's going to be a remarkable time. Just over 37 seconds, really quite astonishing time. But now for Jeff Capes, it's a test of character and determination, slonging it out to complete the course, looking anxiously for the time. And he's second.
Second.
Jeff, you're the only man to finish in the left lane, time of 46 seconds.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
You've made a point.
Well, with respect to all the other guys, they've got the option of going again. Well, the decision was made I can go on the blue lane again if I want, but I don't think we're going to beat 46 seconds. I'm happy to pull it when nobody else has pulled it.
Well, Jeff's satisfaction didn't last long, with the judges deciding to give the contenders from that suspect yellow lane the option of another go in the blue. Kurt Marsh took the chance and gets a time of 44.9, 2 seconds faster than Capes' time. Now here's Jeff showing what he's made of, responding to that challenge from Marsh, and he looks really determined to win back that second place, and even perhaps try to overtake Kazmaier's time in this second go in the blue lane. And it's a storming start. He really is building up his speed, keeping very low, keeping on all fours all the way. This really is a fantastic performance, and you can't help but speculate what might have happened in his head-to-head with Kazmaier if the luck of the draw had been different. And here's Jeff now storming away, and he might just beat, no he doesn't. A wonderful, he looks over to the time, just on 38 seconds. And a tremendous achievement there for Jeff, really showing his character, and a happy day as he makes a point. He edges Kurt Marsh into third place and keeps himself right up by the brawny shoulder of Bill Kazmaier, with the three powerlifters, Waddington, Dunn and Hackett, making their presence felt too. Magic Mountain gives a whole new meaning to swings and roundabouts as we move to the second event, the log lift, where the techniques of the specialist lifters should come into their own as they tackle increasingly heavy tree trunks. Ross Browner, American football star, is fast and strong, but he had to find himself in 10th place with this best lift of 224 pounds. Kurt Marsh achieved 260 pounds. good enough to put him in 8th. Strength coach Bill Dunn showed good technique to tie with Marsh in 8th place with his 260-pound lift.
Good lift for Bill Dunn.
Jim Huff, having achieved a creditable 285 pound, tried to hurl aloft a 320 pound. But he settled for 7th place. Dave Waddington offered up a prayer, which seemed to be answered as he tackled the 320 pound log. Massively muscled John Gamble made lifting 320 pounds of forestry look like child's play. Now here's Jeff Capes. Now Jeff isn't too fond of this event. Last year he failed at 312 pounds. Here he is going for a personal best of 320, which would be a remarkable improvement. And here he goes. He's got to lock these arms out. Plenty of encouragement, all the determination in the world. And he's made it. Personal best. And he hates that tree. Tom McGee is Canada's strongest man. A former gymnast, he's worked really hard on technique. Here he is attempting to stay with Waddington, Gamble and Capes. And Canada challenge to Hackett and Kazmar, and he makes it. 320 pounds. Good lift.
Jeff, congratulations. You really climbed a mountain there. That's my PB. I looked at last year, so I think I just come out at 312. But it's very important this year to do well early on because they dropped one of the good events, and I was happy to get in there and do 320.
Now things are getting serious as the 345-pound log arrives on the scene. Jeff Capes at 6'5.5", really lacking the technique of the specialists, and for him this is unknown territory. But he's going to give it a good old British try, and here he goes. And 345 pounds just proves too much for Jeff Capes. Tom McGee looking very calm and methodical as he prepares to tackle that 345-pound log. John Gamble there watching closely. He failed at his weight, as did Dave Waddington. So let's now watch the Canadian champ. Well, did he lock out? No, that left elbow just wouldn't straighten up. Didn't quite make it. So now it's left to the power man. Here comes Hackett. First of all, Ernie Hackett to fight out for the top place. And there goes Ernie Hackett, compacted the powerhouse. Up it goes. And that's what Ernie thought about it all. Really enjoyed that.
Really did psych yourself up for that, didn't you?
Well, I put it all together for just that one big effort because there's just no way I could make it the second time. Just couldn't be done. So just once, that's all you needs to get the second place, you know?
Now, do you reckon you can top that weight?
Well, we'll have to see how Bill does first.
And let's just see how Bill does do. Bill Kazmaier, 345 pounds. There's Tom. So with three men tied in third place, it's on to the next weight. Ernie Hackett fails to clear the 355 pounds. So it's up to Bill Kazmaier. Lift this. 10 points ahead. down, Kazmaier seemed able to call on that extra belief in himself, the hallmark of a great champion, and a little touch of surely permissible arrogance and defiance. You really do sort of glory in it when you win. I saw you doing that big thumbs up sign. Is that for the other athletes?
No, it's actually just a victory cheer, one good second of glory, and then it's all over.
Do you rate yourself as the world's strongest man right now?
Yeah, I actually think I'm the strongest man who ever lived.
The strongest man who ever lived?
Yes, I'll make that statement.
So, after 2 events, a supremely confident Kazmaier with complete full house, 20 marks from the 2 events. With Jeff Capes putting up a strong challenge, 15.5, just behind him, Hackett and Waddington. The third and final event of the first day here at the World's Strongest Men competition is the first event borrowed from the Highland Games heavy events, and that is tossing the 56-pound weight over the bar. Now, this came about as a variation of tossing the sheaf over the bar when somebody had the idea, well, why not try weight? Where do you find a 56-pound weight lying handily about? Well, what you do is you go along to the local miller, and he's bound to have a half-hundredweight weight, and it's looking something like this with a ring pull on it. And somebody had the bright idea of standing with the back to the bar, swinging this weight, and then tossing it with contemptuous ease over the bar. The world record holder for this is Jeff Capes. He tossed it 17 feet 2 inches last year, but Bill Kazmaier, who's already been at the Braemar Games, where he had 16 feet 2 inches, a little bird tells me that he, the man who's already called himself the strongest man who's ever lived, is going to toss this thing today 18 feet. That's 3 times my height, 56 pounds. Well, we'll see.
Bill Dunn, weighing 360 pounds. Let's hear it for Bill Dunn.
In the early stages of the contest, Big Bill Dunn, like most of the athletes, had never tried anything quite like this before. It's all about rhythm and coordination and suppleness, as well as brute strength. The bar's at 13 feet.
Good cross, Bill Dunn.
Kurt Marsh had one great advantage. The tallest man in the competition at 6'6", he's already halfway to that 13-foot bar.
Good cross, yeah.
But that was the best he could manage. The likeable and fiercely competitive Dave Waddington looked set for greater heights, but had to settle for this as his best throw.
Dave Waddington at 13 feet. The next contestant,
John Gamble had successfully cleared the 13-foot mark and now attempted to get ahead with this effort at 14'6". Fails and has to settle for an equal 5th place. Jeff Capes, Tom McGee and Bill Kazmaier are leading the field. Ernie Hackett needs this, 15'6", to stay with them. Ernie gave it everything there, but it wasn't just good enough. So now it's time to watch the shootout for the final here. Round the Highland Games circuit in Scotland, this man, Jeff Capes, has wound up a formidable reputation for himself in the traditional events. He's the world record holder at this event, and he really has mastered the technique. And that's the way to do it. Bill Kazmaier, too, is completed in the Highland Games at places like Braemar, and he knows what it takes. Purists would note that perhaps the rhythm isn't quite as smooth, but the result is just as impressive.
the bar is now set at precisely 17 feet.
McGee has gone out, and as so often, it's a battle between Capes and Kazmaier. And here goes Jeff. Watch out for that smooth pendulum swing. Two big swings. Here it goes. And he's cleared it. No! Oh, tragedy for Jeff. Cleared the bar and then hit it on the way down. Very disappointing for him there. So Kazmaier, not having to go to the magic 18 feet to prove his point, simply is to clear this to win the contest. And that is a fantastic hit. Fantastic. 3 events and 3 first places for the big man from Alabama. And as you watch this power wind up, you judge by how much this weight clears the 17-foot bar. Bill Kazmaier, congratulations. You know, when it comes down to that kind of shootout, what goes on in your mind? Because it seems to me it's much more than just muscle power at that stage. It's got to be brain power as well.
Yeah, it seems to come down to Jeff and myself a whole lot. And when I look him in the eye, I really can get up.
Do you get hate in your eye as well?
Oh, not at all. I just want to win.
What about that, Jeff? You know, is there any hate in this business? Because when it comes down to 2 guys slugging it out like that, you've got to channel your hate against somebody, don't you?
Sure, I think the first 2 events, a couple of years ago, I heard about Bill Kazmaier, and he's a legend in his own right, in the strength scene. And we've competed now for 3 years and on the Heineken Games circuit as well. And as he said, it was always down to me and Kaz. We're good pals out of the game, and I think that's as it should be. Do
you think I'm in danger standing between you now?
Oh, I think so.
Well, moving swiftly away from that danger zone, let's look at the scoreboard. And after 3 events, Kazmaier has the maximum 30 points. With Jeff Capes keeping up the challenge, Hackett and McGee looking dangerous. But with the footballers, Huff and Browner, still to make any kind of impact on this competition. Event number 4, the barbell. That's 5/8 of an inch thick cold steel. In the first group, 5 men: Ernie Hackett, Jim Huff, John Gamble, Tom McGee, and Ross Browner. In the second group, on the same bar, Kazmaier, Waddington, Dunn, Capes and Marsh. And a fantastic variety of headgear being tried out. Kazmaier's trying a touch of the Eastern Promise with what looks like a rather elaborate turban on his head. But it is a towel. Jeff Capes adopts the rolled-up towel, but much more importantly, he's got the speed to make this steel bar look like a piece of necklace. Kazmaier trying readjustments. All about Capes, the sweat and grunting and groaning is going on. Jeff is strolling around with that bar casually draped around his neck like a bootlace tie, and Kazmaier is really struggling. And here's Bill Dunn discovering just what a pain in the neck is really all about.
How you getting it done? How you getting it done? You got the technique.
Left, just relax.
You got the technique.
Make time, Kurt. Come on.
Just look at Kazmaier, a brand new technique here, hands across the ocean for him as he tries to ease in that last inch and a half to make the bar fit into the gauge. And he looks as if he's done. So John Gamble and Jim Huff join Capes and Kazmaier to decide the top 4 placings. The bar for the final is now 11/16 of an inch thick and 4 foot 6 inches in length. So let's watch Capes as he makes his attempt on the bar, and look at that. Great speed, no bother at all. And he's done it. Now, if Kazmaier has got any sort of peripheral vision, he must be able to see or sense Capes stalking about at the back there with a job done, which must be a signal for the big man and for Jim Huff, who really are struggling here. Now, this could upset the whole balance of this contest. It looks as if the British champion could make a real impact here. Huff is struggling very badly. Kazmaier looks as if he might be getting that. John Gamble making little impression. One-man race, and the winner, Jeff Capes. Kazmaier manages only 7 points, with Jim Huff and John Gamble ahead of him. But if there were bonus points for ease of victory, Jeff Capes would be 20 points instead of the valuable 10 that he does score. Flushed with that success, Jeff Capes should have made mincemeat of the opposition in an event in which he's a master. tossing the cable, but he got it all wrong. And this is what he thought of his effort.
Waddington is leading. Let's hear it for Dave Waddington, present leader. Let's help him out.
So it is left to Dave Waddington to maintain the honour of the clans, and what he lacks in finesse, he more than makes up for in enthusiasm. Now, Highland Games purists may not rate either the rather puny caber or the Waddington style. How about that?
That's he exceeded his previous throw with a new record for this event, 40 feet, 3 inches.
So, with Waddington taking the 10 points, the scene behind Casmire on the main scoreboard is looking distinctly more crowded. Capes, despite that disappointing showing, is still runner-up, but McGee and Gamble are pressing him very hard indeed. Event number 6 is the real man-killer of them all. Object of the exercise to load 12 167-pound beer kegs onto a flatbed truck. Bill Dunn, no, it's not Beaugest, he failed to complete the course, but this is an event in which Jeff Capes has an excellent track record. He'll attack from the very first keg to the last, and John Gamble is looking a little bit pensive. And there they go, and Gamble is really quite slow. Oh, and he's off to a disastrous start, dropping the barrel, redoubling the effort to pick it up from deck level again. And Jeff Capes is going to old league. Very quickly indeed. You need speed for this. Here his height is an advantage when it comes to tipping kegs onto the flatbed truck. Gamble, shorter man, and it's much more of an effort there. Tremendous encouragement for these men. Everybody realizes just what an incredible physical effort this demands. Jeff, with only 2 battles left, picks up the second last one. Gamble is really suffering. He's beginning to get that walking underwater look to him as he staggers his way back there. And he's having problems. Hot day here in the California sunshine, and here comes Jeff Capes now, coming in with what is a good time, best time so far. Oh, the effort of it all. We saw him pound his fist there, never happy. And here comes John Gamble, really struggling to complete the course. But he's a fighter, he'll go all the way, give him a tremendous amount of encouragement in return. Oh, so agonizingly slowly. Is he going to make it? And he does. But this is the kind of event that pushes even the strongest of men to the outermost limits of their endurance.
Check me pulse. Some beautiful woman over here want to give him mouth to mouth? Please, no. I couldn't take it.
Capes totally exhausted, and the satisfaction of being the fastest so far. That expression says it all. Jim Howe has never known such punishment as this, even in the thud and blunder of American football. Although Ernie Hackett is well ahead, he's really starting to hurt. It's going to be a question of who's got the timing better. Ernie Howe has placed himself more steadily. Ernie really is beginning to suffer. Slow and steady he may be, but it looks as if he's coming in to win. Huff looks over at him. Oh, and he's dropped it. Disaster for Hackett, and Huff sees the opportunity, rushes in. And what is that?
a dead heat? We have a feeling that it might be a dead heat between you and Ernie Hackett.
Well, I'd like to run it again.
Who said football players are dumb?
I thought I'd lost. I didn't. When I saw that Ernie had dropped the barrel.
No jokey responses from Ernie Hackett. The disappointment of being the judge second there, beyond him. Now, if anyone can catch up with Capes, it should be Kazmaier or his opponent here, the big, fast and superbly conditioned American footballer Kurt Marsh. And Kurt seems to be absolutely oblivious to the pain of this event, unlike the mighty Kazmaier, who looks distinctly distressed. But he looks as if he's out for a Sunday afternoon stroll. Oh, and he's dropped the last barrel. Kazmaier feeling the pain, and let's watch this final finishing in 1 minute 17 seconds to take 5 seconds off the time amassed by Capes. And look at this, the condition of Bill Kazmaier. Kurt Marsh, a fantastic time there, 1 minute 17. You're hardly broken sweat. You're not even breathing heavily. How? What sort of stuff are you made of?
Well, that's the way all us Oakland Raiders are, right? No, it's just a different type of thing for an athlete like myself. I stay in good condition and work on strength and conditioning and flexibility instead of just power strength, and I think the combination of the whole thing really helped me.
Well, I suppose to be asking too much to expect anyone to come near to breaking that time with Kurt Marsh, but just look at Tom McGee on the left here. He is sprinting.
Come on, David!
McGee, of course, as a former gymnast, has a great deal of agility, a great deal of speed, and of course tremendous strength. He really is attacking these battles. Waddington taking it much more steadily. The time set up by Kurt Marsh of 1 minute 17 looked the absolutely unattainable one, but it looks as if this big fella has got that in his sights. He's going to try and break 1 minute 17. Waddington setting for a much more steady pace. Oh, the disaster striking McGee as he drops the barrel, wastes precious seconds. And here he comes. Can he make it? Picking up that last enormously heavy barrel, 167 pounds. But he's going to make it if he gets it down. 1 minute 13 seconds. Quite incredible. He's beaten it by 4 seconds. He takes the lead. And Dave Waddington is going to be just a little bit behind, a little bit slower than Jeffrey Capes. Fantastic competition. The winner, the phenomenal Canadian Tom McGee, whose challenge gets stronger and stronger. The Kazmaier lead is looking just a little more vulnerable now. After 6 events, McGee is pressing strongly to overtake Capes, still grimly hanging on to that second place. Well, after all the frenetic dramas of yesterday and the keg loading, and with the scoreboard in a very interesting situation indeed, today a much more placid setting for the 3 lifts, all based on power lifting. We have the silver dollar lift, we have the block lift, but we start with that aching example of mind over matter, the battery lift. Well, here's one event you can try at home. All you need is a heavy-duty car battery weighing 60 pounds or so, and hold it out at arm's length for as long as you can manage. If you can hold it out at arm's length, you're very strong. If you reckon you can hold it out here, as Bill Dunn is doing, for about 45 seconds, you're either the biggest fibber in town, or you should be out here in Magic Mountain. Inexorably down it comes onto the tape. 44.7 seconds. And that's going to be a tough time to beat. This is Tom McGee. Now, Tom hasn't got the ideal physique for this effort because he's not so massive as Dunn or Gamble, and those long arms will take an awful lot of punishment as he tries to lock them out.
Come on, Tom. Hang it. Come on, hang it. Come on, Tom. Hold it in there. Real good, Tom. Let's go. Come on, Tom. Come on, Tom. Take it up. You got to lock that. Get up. Take it up, baby.
44.7 seconds was the time set up by Big Bill Dunn, and it looks as if this big fella from Canada could beat that. He's struggling, fighting against the battery, and it's gone. Now the timekeepers are consulted. He looks a bit despondent, and I think we just heard he's lost it by 1.5 seconds. For Jeff Capes, it's the meditation approach. Jeff knows this is one of his worst events. The long levers that are his arms are really not designed for this job. He's fighting it, but it's a losing battle. The battery inexorably goes down, touches there. Oh, it's a poor time. Only about 30 seconds. Jeff, disappointment, but surely not surprised. He dreaded this event, put everything into trying to overcome the disadvantage of his long-armed physique, but in vain. But here's a man designed for this event. John Gamble has the sort of massive pectoral development and upper arm strength that almost lets him rest his arms on his upper chest. He also has a marvelous Buddha-like calm about him. Wow, this is going to be an incredible time. He looks completely serene, and down it goes on 56.7 seconds, shattering Dunn's record. Surely nobody will beat that. Here's one man who's willing to give it a try, Ernie Hackett. Again, it's this stocky physique. Again, the great calm that he approaches, trying to block out his pain, eyes tightly closed. Looks like good time. As it touches the tape, 6 seconds or so behind Gamble, good enough for second place there for Ernie Hackett. Ernie is perhaps the most deceptive of all the athletes here. Behind that bespectacled, mild-mannered appearance is real steel, and he showed it then. And look at these times. Again, the competition really opens out. Kazmar finishing 5th in the battery lift, and those two solid citizens, John Gamble and Ernie Hackett, really making their challenge. Jeff Capes finished last in this event. And as Jeff's hopes plunge, just like the screaming inmates of the giant Colossus switchback, the master scoreboard should now make very interesting reading. And as we can see, Tom McGee now, who's giving Bill Kazmar a fright. Jeffrey Capes has slipped to 3rd place overall. Marsh, Gamble and Hackett look ever more menacing. The concrete block lift is a variant on the powerlifting squat, and it was to prove an even bigger disaster area for the hopes of Jeff Capes. Early in the competition, with the total weight of the blocks at 700 pounds, got ready for his attempt. And this is what happened. Obviously, a severe injury for Jeff Capes, and we can see the pain of it reflecting in his face.
Jeff, what happened? Well, as I explained, I got my arms fairly well up and obviously opened the joint on my shoulder, and when I hit the bottom of the squat, the weight literally shook the muscle and tore it off the rotator cuff and damaged the nerves. And I've never had any pain like this in my life before. I've never been injured in my life, really.
You're pulling out of this contest?
Yeah, I've got to pull out because I just can't even feel my arm, you know. And I don't really understand pain because I've never been injured. But now it really hurts. And
so a painful exit from the block lift for Jeff Capes. But now the real battle is on. Ernie Hackett and his fellow powerlifters, Waddington and Kazmar, and the ever-present Tom McGee, matching one another, lift for lift. Here's Hackett with 955 pounds. Phenomenal lifting from Hackett.
Far out of the hole. They're going to need your encouragement.
The same total, Dave Waddington. Dave claims to be the man with the strongest legs in the world. Here he goes, trying to prove it.
Good setup. Come on.
And Dave really enjoyed that. Dave Waddington is a sheet metal worker and a fiery competitor. He's been smarting for a year that Kazmar beat him in the squat. This year he told me, I'll take his scalp.
Let's go, Bill.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on now, Kaz.
And doesn't Kazmar know that he's got a fight in his hands now? That cage tiger routine is summoning up all his powers to lift his 955 pounds.
Control and go.
There's his girlfriend there offering some words of encouragement. Big Kaz snarls his defiance.
Control and go. Control.
Here he goes. Problems for Big Kaz. He's not going to make it. This is remarkable. The crowd is stunned into silence. Kazmar fails at 955 pounds. Into tension steps the man in the overall second place, Tom McGee.
Oh, I gotta have it. Oh. Come on, Tom. Come on, Tom. Look at this. It's gone.
Don't stop.
Oh, fantastic stuff. It's worked. Where Kazmar failed, McGee has succeeded at 955 pounds. The youngest competitor in the competition, Tom McGee, surely an example of the power of positive thinking. Now then, how can Dave Waddington follow that? Well, never a fellow to blush unseen. Dave is going for a new world record. 1,001 pounds.
Get a good setup. Don't go unless you're ready. All right, fast on the ball.
Go, Dave. Come on.
Oh, and how Dave hates to lose.
Come on, guys, pull it in. Come on, pull, man. A little further. One good sprint. One more. Come on, get it. Pull harder. It's in.
Quite undaunted, McGee now gets ready to try at 1,001, and when he comes to preparation, he really does suffer for his art.
You need it. Gotta have it.
Squad, you. I got you.
And he just fails. A massive effort there from Tom McGee. Tom, I know you very well as a gentle, articulate, intelligent young man, and yet here you are, turning yourself into a wild man and a monster for doing this event. What do you do to yourself?
What I'm trying to do is get the adrenaline flowing in my body through getting excited, and as a result of that, you can lift more. You know, you hear the stories of the woman who the jack breaks and falls on her son, and she picks up the car. Well, I'm trying to let that adrenaline out, and as a result, I can lift more, I feel less pain, plus it takes the negative thoughts out of your head. So it's not just total craziness, there is a reason behind it.
Including banging your head against the wall?
Whatever it takes, yeah.
Well, somehow here in Magic Mountain, all the head-banging and the psyching and the hooting and the hollering seem quite appropriate in a fun park where you can get soaking wet pretending to shoot the rapids of the Colorado River, enjoy the sensation of dropping out of an aircraft without a parachute on the aptly named death slide, or experiencing the sort of G-forces that would astound an astronaut, all in the cause of having a real good time. But in among all the razzmatazz, the hip hooray and ballyhoo, life is earnest and painful for the competitors in the silver dollar deadlift. Bill Down will attempt to raise his salary, trying to haul $15,900 off the ground. That's 925 pounds in weight. And there's the power of inflation for you. Dave Waddington lifted 850 pounds to tie for 5th place with Down. Tom McGee, gaining in stature with every event, here attempts 925 pounds. Well, Bill Kazmaier must be feeling the hot breath of Tom McGee at the back of his neck as he tries now for a 975 pound lift. That's 17,000 worth of silver dollars. Jim Huff looks as if he can't believe it.
Come on, big kid! Come on! Come on, Phil! Come on, Phil!
And just look at that. Well, you've got to admire the man injured in the squat, and here he is in at the kill at dead weight, 975. Bill Cannon. This is John Gannon, trying 975 pounds, but he just can't seem to straighten those knees. He flexes them a couple of times. He's going to try again. But it just will not happen. Tom McGee, a sniff of oxygen, more of that positive thinking. And here he goes, 975 to be up there with Hackett and Powell.
Get on, you! Get on, 5 seconds, nice seconds.
And it's failure there for Tom McGee. Bit of disappointment. He looks philosophical about it. And more filthy local pouring in to bring the cash total to $18,500. Weight, 1,055. Ernie Hackett here quietly drawing his concentration around him like a cloak, turning his back on the tumult behind him as Bill Kazmaier gets ready. 1,055 pounds. Ernie Hackett now attempting to stay with Kazmaier at that level, 1,055. Knock out the knees, not quite so convincingly, but he made it. Hackett is still there. Now to win the event outright, each man will attempt to deadlift 1,085 pounds, a total never before attempted. Even the strongest man must have a limit, and that looked to be it for Bill Kazmaier today. Now then, can Ernie Hackett deadlift a weight that, in the words of the master of ceremonies here, has never been lifted off the surface of the planet Earth with human muscle power. 1,085 pounds. Here he goes. Well, Ernie's bid for immortality fails, and he has to settle for a share of the first place with Bill Kazmaier. And as we look at the scoreboard there, with the points, 9.5 points each for Hackett and Kazmaier, 7.5 for Gamble and McGee. Ernie explained his motivation.
I'll tell you, 90% of the psych I have is to beat Bill Kazmaier. It always has been. I go back with Bill, in a British strongman contest 3 years ago. And I came in third to him there where he won it. And since then, I've just always wanted to beat him in one thing, I came close today. At least we tied.
Could I put one final tactical point to you, Bill, and that is tomorrow the sumo wrestling. In past times, you haven't even had to enter. You've been so far ahead. Could you have taken too much out of yourself on that last couple of lifts?
Oh, I don't think so. My body's in pretty good shape. I'm looking forward to the wrestling.
So you're going to go head for head in the sumo?
Yeah, I hope nobody loses any teeth.
Gentlemen, congratulations again. Many thanks. Thank you. With only one event left, the competition is poised for a grand finale. With the final event counting double points, any one of these top 5 men could win the overall competition, depending on the outcome of the final events. Now, as if the Japanese didn't have enough problems with earthquakes, they came up with this sport, in which the ringside spectators live in ever-present danger of being flattened by 300 pounds of flying flesh. Sumo wrestling and the rules of the game are devastatingly simple. The contestants line up in a wide-legged crouch with their knuckles on this thin blue line, and for the next few moments of explosive action, the whole object of the exercise is to eject your opponent from the dohyo or ring, or to bring him to ground within it. With the results at the top so very close, the outcome of the whole contest could depend on the battle within this ring. So, let battle commence. Battle it is. Kazmaier versus Waddington. If ever there was a grudge match, this is it. Waddington has been dreaming and scheming of how he's going to take Kazmaier apart for 12 months now. Let's see.
All four on the line.
Kazmaier wins, and Dave Waddington is fit to be tied. Sumo wrestling is all about leverage, speed, and using a man's strength and weight against himself. Waddington tried but failed to flip over the massive bulk of Kazmaier, and he was furious with himself. American footballers traditionally do well at sumo. They're fast on their feet, know all about body contact, and usually have to develop a mean streak to survive. Hoff and Browner here are well matched, and Browner at long last looks as if he's found an event to suit him. And wins. And here's an example of courage and character. Jeff Capes, in spite of that painful injury in the block lift, is set to tangle with Ernie Hackett in the sumo.
275-pound powerlifting champion, Ernie Hackett.
And a crashing fall there for both men. And it looks as if Ernie Hackett has been injured there, but we'll have to wait to find out who's the winner as the judges look at this slow motion replay. The point at issue is, did Ernie's knee hit the deck before Jeff came crashing over him? And there's the confirmation. That means victory for Jeff Capes. And not all the combat was man-to-man. Here's Bill Dunn wrestling with a parasol and losing by a technical knockout. Now, the first semi-final.
In the yellow mala sheet, from the University of Virginia, weighing 290 pounds, John Gamble. Weighing 340 Kazmaier. Let's hear it for Bill Kazmaier.
Bill Kazmaier, if he defeats John Gamble in the semi-final, will know that he's assured himself of the title of the world's strongest man. And he's done it, assuring himself of the title of world's strongest man, but now he is still to wait to find out who will challenge him in the sumo final. The one sure thing is that it'll be one of these American footballers.
From the Cincinnati Bengals, let's all give a big hand to Ross Browner. In the green collar sheet, 6'5", 290 pounds. From the Raiders, the National Football League, let's hear it for Kurt Marsh.
For the right to meet Bill Kazmaier in the championship of the sumo wrestling, offense versus defense.
We're going for $1,000. They don't pay offensive linemen nothing. Come on, buddy. You make all the money.
Man, listen to this. Defensive linemen are the most underpaid people in the league. I mean, offensive linemen got everything. They got the looks, they got all the money, they get all the touchdowns, they get all the pub. I mean, give us a little break.
Brains against
brains against bronze. Right.
Make your own choice. Make your own choice, folks. Good luck, gentlemen.
Sit down. All right. Go. The victor, Kurt Marsh. The Oregon Colts stay with us. The final match will continue next round.
Here is the sumo final. Big Bill Kazmaier, the world's strongest man. And against him, the offensive lineman from the Oakland Raiders, Kurt Marsh. And a classic confrontation there. Kazmaier, infinitely the more powerful man, is overcome by the speed and leverage of the much faster Marsh. Kazmaier tried for the bulldozing tactics that succeeded so well against Gamble, but Marsh understands about speed and leverage and balance, and he flips him over so very easily.
Well, we're used to high-speed contact, staying down. In football, as an offensive lineman, I'm blocking for the backs with the ball. The backs have the ball, I'm keeping the defensive men away, and it's my job to knock people down without getting knocked down myself. And it's very similar in the leverage points and keeping your head up and quick feet and all that kind of thing.
That victory gave Marsh 6th place. Jeff Capes was a brave 4th, but the real threat came from Canada's Tom McGee, the top of the heap for the 3rd successive year, the super heavyweight powerlifter from Oberon, Alabama. Bill Kazmaier, many congratulations for the 3rd year in succession declared the world's strongest man. What does that mean to you?
Well, it reaffirms my idea that I'm the strongest man who ever lived. And I've already forgotten about it, even though it's only 2 minutes ago. Looking forward to next year and a comeback to defend my 4th year.
Former Olympic gold medal hammer thrower Harold Connolly presents the British Beef Trophy to Bill Kazmaier, who has surely made it good on his claim to be the strongest man who ever lived.